not try to contract your own home, but if you do, here's how you do it. Welcome to another episode of 𝐂𝐿𝐾. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as well as watch the video all the way through, not because I asked you to, because today I'm going to tell you about if you're a homeowner and want to build your own house and also want to lose your mind and every little bit of sanity you've ever known in your entire life. I'm going to guide you through that. I'm going to mention this at the beginning of this video and probably several times throughout the video. The biggest asset of a general contractor is finding good people. One of the things that's been the biggest struggle throughout my whole entire construction career has been recruiting and finding the good people to build my house. You want to have good people to build the house because at a lot of situations your project will sort of self-sustain. It'll be on a bit of an autopilot. And then not to mention the fact there's going to be less things that get screwed up. But to start at the beginning, what can you afford? And the best way to figure this out is just to talk to people. Real estate agents, look on the market for houses that are sold that are new construction. Talk to your banker, he'll have a pretty good understanding of what new homes are going for. And if you know a general contractor, talk to he or she and try to figure out what their houses are going for. I say going for, how much is it costing them to build a home? You're gonna come up with this preliminary cost figure based on the collection of information that you get from everybody. There's so many different variables, it's almost like you're gonna take a group of numbers and then you're gonna average that group of numbers. Then whenever you find that average, you're gonna be able to determine your price per square foot.
Somebody's taking me!
So understand this video is a bit of a crash course. You can get blueprints from pretty much anywhere. You can get them online. You can go to your local draftsman. If you know an architect, maybe a lot of times architects are going to be a lot more expensive. Like I've heard of people spending like 10 or 15 grand on a set of plans for a home, and really for like the houses we build, maybe 2,500 square foot should be maybe $1,200 or $1,500. Some of the plans you get offline are even cheaper, but we can't really do that here because the lots are very specific and they have to fit on the lot. If you get them off the internet, there's not going to be room for like a lot of modifications. Most of the time, that's kind of what they are. If you have a draftsman do them, you can basically start from scratch and make it exactly how you want, but really sometimes that's overrated unless you really need to fit a house on a specific size lot. And if you just have too much money and you want to hire an architect to do it, they're going to give you a lot more detail than you really need. Things that are really best worked out on a job site, and a lot of this stuff like footing depth, I mean, that's kind of understood. They're going to illustrate a lot of things that really should already be known by, say, for example, like your foundation guy, he knows to do the perimeter footings like 2 foot deep. Then your framer knows how to put studs on 16-inch centers, hopefully. And here I go again off topic, but that's one of the beauties of residential construction is that you can sort of improvise quite a bit. That's kind of a good thing and kind of a bad thing at the same time. But anyway, blueprints. We're going to start at the beginning on that. This is a pre-made spreadsheet and I have it, it's like in an Excel program. Whenever I enter in the numbers, it all totals up like automatically. And it's also a little bit of a checklist, that way you don't miss anything. And it just goes down the list. Building permit, design, disposal, supervision, porta-john, temporary gas, temporary electrical, rental tools, builder's risk, final grade, dirt work, landscaping, concrete, slab labor. Anyway, you get the idea. And again, each one of these items has to have like a physical person giving you these numbers, so that way it's really accurate. And I want to set aside one thing, that's building materials. That's what this is. Most of the time you can give your plans to a lumber yard and they will do the material takeoff for you. Now if you're a construction genius then you can send your takeoff to multiple lumber yards and it'll give you a really good comparison of where your materials stand. Now let's just say, for example, you have 3 sets of plans and you send them out to 3 separate lumber yards to do their own individual takeoff. Well, they're all going to be different and they're not really going to be comparable. It's because one lumber yard might figure a roof system a little bit different way than the other lumber yard that may be a little bit cheaper. Out the obvious, like they might leave some shit out. Why am I hitting hard on that? It's because there's a lot of detail in here and there's a lot of room for error and a lot of room for mistakes and a lot of room for like miscomparison, if that's a freaking word. So pay really close attention to your building material stuff. Building. Don't forget these. And HVAC, and I didn't show you the actual rough end process. I'm not gonna be like looking everywhere trying to figure out how to illustrate this point. You can imagine there's gonna be wiring here, there's gonna be water lines up there, there's gonna be a HVAC system up there.
Nice!
Drywall. cabinets, paint, flooring. And then of course all the outside, the flower beds, the grass, the stucco, the roof. But for the sake of this video, I'm gonna try to keep it simple. Of course, like I said, this is a crash course in building a house, and there's a lot of other points. And the permit, scheduling, ordering materials, when to move in, the biggest asset of a GC. Scheduling is only something a contractor would know unless your subs were like really helpful and say, okay, well, I'm done with this now. In 2 weeks, you need to do this. And that's gonna be kind of rare if you're a homeowner because they don't really care to help you that much. Sad reality, but it's true. Ordering materials, back before the world went crazy, windows used to take maybe 2 weeks to get in, and now like maybe 6 months. And I say 6 months, that was like at the most. COVID was really nuts for the building game. And then when do you move in? To move into the house, I'm gonna state the obvious. You take your 2 feet and do like, but before that, you have to get your final inspection, your CO, and then make the bank happy, or if you're paying cash, then you probably don't need any of that crap. For somebody like me that builds houses every 2 years and moves every 2 years just because it's part of my business, moving sucks.